If you don't review us, your ass and I are gonna have a hell of a time.
Then I guess I have no choice. Alright, so one shitty skit later, I decided to re-review this Green Goblin figure. The Green Goblin figure from the first Spider-Man movie, who was played by Willem Dafoe. Ah yes, the very first Spider-Man movie, a classic. Everyone says Spider-Man 2 is the best out of the trilogy, but to me, this one is my personal favorite. Now we all know the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin is a motherfucking piece of shit. The Green Goblin is one of the best supervillains ever put to film. Like, this motherfucker was blowing people to smithereens. Just so iconic. Willem Dafoe did such a good job, you really believe that this was a crazy bastard. Toybiz made a few Green Goblin figures, but the one we're looking at today is the superposable Green Goblin. An all-time favorite figure of mine. Getting a look at the helmet, one thing you'll notice immediately is the shiny green paint. And this green paint is covered throughout the entire figure. And look at the sculpt! The helmet on this figure still impresses me to this day. And the same can be said for the rest of the body. All of the armor and the undersuit, it looks fantastic. It's very impressive, especially when you consider Toybiz used to sculpt these figures by hand. And look at that ass. Whew! Talk about movie accuracy. And you know my man's got the Nike flight posits. Willem the Drip, I call it.
These are shoes that I picked up in Mexico.
The green paint really ties the figure together. And this is the only superposable Green Goblin with this metallic paint. All the other versions look like the toy soldiers from Toy Story. My only real problem with this figure is the proportions. From the waist up he looks fine, but goddamn he's been skipping leg day like a motherfucker. They really made Willem Dafoe skinny, but we all know that's not the case. This helmet isn't just for show. If you turn it around you can see there's a piece of shit behind it. Just take off the removable mask.
But you can't do this to me.
I started this company. You know how much I sacrificed?
Listen, it was 2002, and for that time, it's not too bad. But like, come on, you got Pinhead Larry over here. There's green scuff marks from the mask, and his hair isn't even brown. It's orange. It looks like instant ramen noodles. Alright, fuck the helmet. Let's just get into the glider. Oh, that's the good shit right there. This is what Toybiz is all about. The thing literally looks like it jumped straight out of the movie. The spikes on the front could be a little sharper, but then you take a look at the bottom and oh my god. The paint and detail is enough to make a full-grown man come. And it has. This is a level of detail you don't even see in figures today. No, like actually. There's even two pumpkin bombs on the front that you can move. Now some people told me you can take these out, but I haven't tried. But if you could, they would be in perfect scale with this figure. There's two pegs on the pedals and two holes on the figure's feet. So you put the things in the holes and there you go. And while this may look awesome, can't really do much with him on there. I mean, he's just gonna fall over. You can lean the glider forward, but that's just kinda lame. Now what? Well, this is the superposable Green Goblin, which means it's the only figure to give you a display stand. Assembly's pretty easy, and there's some fucking dust right there. Okay, sorry about that. The tip of this base is a hole, and the bottom of the glider has a peg, so you put the thing in the hole, and now you can have the Green Goblin hovering on his glider as intended. And just to think, back then, all of this cost $7.99. But how well can he pose? He's got a joint at both the head and the neck, but even with these two joints, he can't look up. But the Green Goblin is someone who has to look up. So here's what you do. You take off the helmet, put it on his head like a hat, angle it just right, and there, he's looking up. The shoulder pads are on hinges, arm moves out, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. You got a wrist swivel and hinge joint, which are completely separate, and you have finger articulation. So here's the funny thing about the torso. At first I thought this joint right here was completely useless. Like damn, this shit don't turn or nothing, but no, it does turn. So it's actually not useless. Well, that's my bad. I even had this skit planned with Aqua in it, but I guess she's still useless to me. Then you got your waist swivel. Most Toybiz figures are on ball joint hips, but he isn't. And that's good, it keeps him from being too dated. And then you got your standard Marvel Legends leg articulation, plus toe joints. And he actually does have an ankle pivot, it's just very slight. It may not seem like a lot, but actually it does help a little bit. And also the arms are on like springs or something because it moves outward. I don't know what that's about, but it's kind of weird, you know, we're just gonna ignore that right now. And as for the glider itself, both sides are actually on hinges. Very cool attention to detail. But the Green Goblin is known for one thing, his 2 big pumpkin bombs, baby. He doesn't come with any.
What?
Yeah, you're just gonna have to use one from Spider-Man 3 or something. This figure is pretty old, but he's still a decent size. Here's the superposable Spider-Man from the same wave. And here's the battle damage version, the Spider-Man 2 Doc Ock, and the Spider-Man 3 Sandman. The Marvel Legends Electro and TASM 1 Lizard, the integrated suit, Mafex TASM 2 Andrew Garfield, and of course, the figure you've all been waiting for, Tobey McGuire. So, 21 years later, Jesus fuck, I'm old.
Mommy, my Krabby Patty tastes funny.
Well, no wonder. It's all old and dried out, like that man right there.
I think it's badass, man. Yeah, he does show his age a little bit, but at the end of the day, he's still a kick-ass figure. Very much like the movie itself. If you can get your hands on this figure specifically, with all the accessories, I think it's well worth it. Green Goblin is my favorite villain from the Spider-Man trilogy, and this figure is my favorite villain from Toybiz. And then a few years later would come the release of Spider-Man 2, and once again, Toybiz would be making the action figures.
If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man. Oi!
So yeah, Toybiz made the Spider-Man figures. Spider-Man, 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 everything's Spider-Man. All you fuckers care about is Spider-Man. But the thing that makes Spider-Man so awesome is the goddamn villains. So for the goddamn villains, Toybiz made Dr. Octopus. But the problem is they made 2,000 Spider-Man figures, and Dr. Octopus only got 2 figures. And of the 2 figures, one of them fucking sucks.
3 big balls. Look like we playing tennis. He got
The first figure we're gonna look at today is the Battle Attack Doc Ock.
With street fighting action, there's Doc Ock. He's got tentacle attack action.
The following footage was provided by my good friends, Kieran Brennan, David Ramirez, and of course, my best friend, Angel. This is Angel, everybody. Give him a round of applause. This is my guy. Couldn't have made this video without him.
That's just a figure of speech, by the way. You signed a contract.
Hey man, making these videos ain't easy. So here's the figure inside of the gorgeous Spider-Man 2 packaging. Every time I see this box, I just get all warm and giddy inside. When you get him out of the packaging, he looks pretty good. The sculpt, the detail, the paint, it's all very top notch. And this is the second version Toybiz ever made. I even think the face looks pretty good. Yeah, he kinda looks like Scarface, but considering how old this figure is, it's very nice. He did come with glasses, but those are missing. The claws are very well painted, and they have articulation. He's even got a second neck joint, double jointed elbows, and finger articulation. Well, goddamn, this figure's pretty cool. Why would anyone ever get the first version if this figure's better in every single way? Well, there is one problem with this figure. One fatal mistake that ruins everything. You know these things on the back? The tentacles, yeah, the tentacles, you know, the thing that makes Dr. Octopus Dr. fucking Octopus? They don't move! They don't fucking move! What's the fucking point of having Dr. Octopus? It doesn't fuck... The tentacles don't move. Or no, I'm sorry, they do move. There's just no bendy wire in it. All the top tentacles do is flop around, and the bottom ones don't even move, they're just static. The tentacles are quite literally extra baggage that the figure is stuck carrying around. All because of the gimmick. This is the Battle Attack Doc Ock. As you can see, there's a big switch on his back. It's more of a lever, but if you move it down, the bottom claws close, or at least they're supposed to. They just kinda move ever so slightly. And that's literally it! Oh, Toybiz, I love ya. But really, I think we all could agree we would have preferred bendy wires again, because the figure itself is really good. But this shit right here, it just ain't it. And it's for this reason I call this figure the Limp Dick Doc Ock. He's called the Limp Dick Doc Ock because these might as well be limp penises.
This thing is so bad that he has to have this hand hold this tentacle like that. Otherwise, this tentacle goes right next to this one on this side. It's stupid. It's really rubbish, Doc Ock.
These tentacles are the most useless thing ever. Yes, even more than you, bitch.
Now on to the main event.
Hey, Pedro.
BBC want to...
You thought it was over.
Doc Ock with 4 bendable tentacles. If you want a Doc Ock figure, get this one. The rest of them are, quite frankly, garbage. This one has erectile dysfunction. This one has half erectile dysfunction because the bottom ones are limp. This one has good tentacles, but the articulation is ass. This one's actually kinda alright. But I think you get the point. The bar is set incredibly low. So when I say this figure hits different, it hits harder than what I did to your mom last night. It hits hard knowing I have the best version of this character. Here's a close look at the packaging. Yeah, I got this figure almost a decade ago, and I still have the packaging. My dedication is concerning. On the back there's some illustrations on what you can do. Plug in the tentacles, bend them in various poses, the glasses, and here's some of the figures you could have gotten at the time. I still don't have the Spider-Sense Spider-Man, but I do have the pizza scooter. And if you're having trouble with your 20-year-old figure, you can try calling the customer service number, because that definitely still works.
Why would you open it, you fucking idiot?
Because the box is yellowing and there was already damage on it when I got it. Dumbass.
BBC want to...
Interestingly enough, this is how the prototype looked. It seems they were gonna make the jacket and coat out of actual fabric. That actually seems pretty cool. But if they went that route, I can imagine a lot of naked Doc Ocks on eBay. So maybe it was a good thing they didn't use actual fabric. And look at the picture they used. That is the wrong figure. Fix that shit. So this is what the figure looks like once you take him out of the packaging, except, no he isn't. So I actually swapped the arms for the limp dick Doc Ock. This is actually how the figure comes out of the box, and these are his original arms. He used to have only a single jointed elbow, and his hands didn't really do anything. And that just wasn't gonna do it for me, so I swapped them. So now he's got the double jointed elbows and the hand articulation. But the rest is the base figure, and dude, it looks so good. So much detail on this metal waistband, highlighted with a black wash. His old ass loafers got some shading on them, and this trench coat has shading both on the outside and on the inside. It's also made of rubber, so it won't get in the way of the articulation one bit. But the rubber does age, and as you can see, it stains the fucking body. Oh yeah, there's his nipple. Ooh. Ooh. Actually, come to think of it, why did they base this figure off his shirtless look? He only looked like this like once in the movie. For the rest of the film, he has a brown jacket, and in No Way Home, he has a turtleneck. Can you imagine? But should I really complain about Doc Ock nipples? I think I'll cut him some slack. And probably my favorite detail, they actually got the inhibitor chip on the back of his neck. Now true, it's not painted, but the fact that it's here in the first place is just amazing. When it comes to the figure's articulation, there's really not much to talk about. The head and neck are all one piece. And unfortunately, that means the head can't look up or down, but it does turn side to side. We already went over the arms, so instead let's talk about how he has no waist swivel. None whatsoever, and honestly, that kinda sucks. That's the one piece of articulation I wish was here. But the legs move forward, thigh swivel, he's got double jointed knees, an ankle hinge, and no swivel. Oh man. There's a severe lack of swivel in this figure, and I don't know how I feel about that. But then you got the toe hinges. The articulation is a bit limiting, but this is Doc Ock. I mean, what are you gonna have him do, go Super Saiyan? No, this is Doc Ock, and what makes Doc Ock is the Doc Ock tentacles. I think I just shit my pants. But before we get to that, let's talk about the head. For 2004 standards, it looks pretty good. You can tell who this is supposed to be, and I think the general sculpt itself does resemble Alfred Molina. The hair is a bit off though. It's very messy and unkept, which isn't how it appeared in the movie at all. It was a lot more put together than this. Ironically enough, this hair sculpt is more accurate to No Way Home. But overall, I think it's good. With the glasses on. I think with the glasses on, this head isn't too bad. And you can actually take off the glasses, which is a cool feature, but... Yay! Oh! I don't know what happened with the paint on the eyes, but it just doesn't look right. His eyes are painted this diarrhea brown color, and there's no pupil or iris or anything, it's just there. He looks like a Charlie Brown character. So yeah, definitely keep the glasses on if you get this figure. But now it's time for the real stars of the show, the tentacles. There are 4 holes on the figure's back, and each tentacle has a thing, so you put the things in the holes, and... Holy shit, they look cool. Oh my god, look how fucking badass these are. Oh my god, they're just so good. I want to shove them up places no tentacle humankind should enter. Oh my god. And this is when the figure really shines. Having him with all 4 tentacles is just the dopest thing in existence. And just look at the paint on each tentacle. The bottom is painted gold, each segment is separated, and there's black paint dry brushed on each of them to make them look dirty, and honestly that is so badass. And then you get to the claws themselves, where the detail is just on another level. Toybiz, man. They always gave 110% with each figure. Now the middle of each claw is painted red, which makes sense. The claws do have a red light in the middle to signify their artificial intelligence that get kinda quirky at night.
The animatronic characters here do get a bit quirky at night. 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 Quirky at night.
But then there's some blue near the middle of the top claws, which, yeah, I don't know where that came from. In some screenshots, there's a blue hue to them, I guess? But I think they went a little overboard. The bottom claws don't have any blue paint, so that's kind of weird. Now, keeping in line with the movie, there are 2 tentacles with these triangular claws, and 2 tentacles with these bigger claws, I guess. So be sure to put the smaller claws on top and the bottom claws on the bottom, because that's how it is in the movie. We all know this, right guys? Little claws on top, big claws on the bottom. It would look pretty stupid if you put them on the wrong order. Right, guys? And of course, each tentacle is made of rubber to accommodate for the bendy wire which is in each of them, which allows for infinite movement. Bendy tentacles. You just gotta love it, man. And each claw has articulation. You can bend each pincer at both the base and the middle. I can't stress enough how awesome these tentacles are, and how awesome this figure is, because Toybiz is on top. If I had one complaint, I wish the tentacles were longer. Now, each one is about 6 inches, which, trust me, that is not short, okay? Well above average. But imagine how fun these tentacles would be if they were like really long. I would have to wear my white pants at that point.
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts.
Here he is next to Willem the Goat. Here he is next to the Spider-Man 3 Sandman, Peter Parker, and the girlfriend. And let's bring back Green Goblin, because here are both of these figures next to the SH Figuarts friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and the Figma Aqua. So 17 years later, oh my god. This Dr. Octopus figure still kicks ass. The amount of paint, detail, and care that went into this figure is truly remarkable. Toybiz did not skimp out one bit. And at the time, this figure cost less than $10. Now, in my original review, I said this figure's tentacles fell off easily, but that was because my dumbass did not put the coat on properly, and now he has no problems. I still think it's worth getting this figure and the Green Goblin today. I think they both hold up in their own way, and if you're a fan of the original movies, you'll absolutely love them. Unfortunately, due to recent events, the aftermarket prices can get pretty ridiculous, and really there's not much advice I can give you on that. There isn't like a super secret Raimi store you can get these figures at. I got all of my Toybiz figures years ago, so all I can really say is stock eBay for a good listing. I'm sure you'll find them because these figures are just
impressive. Your parents must be very proud.
Hey Spider Criminal, I've seen this video before. I've seen both of them before. What the fuck? That's true. These are older videos, but they are redubbed and remastered for you. Criminal Z Kai. That's what I'm gonna call it. The original videos are still up. I just wanted to remaster them. For one thing, I have the limp dick Doc Ock now, so for the Doc Ock video, I could add that in. There was some points I missed, some audio fuck-ups, especially with that Green Goblin video. Near the end, you could barely hear what I was saying, so I figured why not. Also, I think it's important to look back on these figures before we talk about the new ones. I don't know if you can see them, but they're down here, so join me next time as I take a look at the Marvel Legends Green Goblin from No Way Home. Fuck, I said it! Damn it! Enjoy a song from Spam Raimi himself.
Spidey bells,
This has been Spider Criminal. Pizza time. Flip flip. Fuck you.
Bye guys, fucking